Pick it up, break it down. Greenline poop bag, save the ground. Oh!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Pure Positivity. My name is Bobby. I have my lovely wife, Eden,
Hello.
and we have our pets with us as always. But the star of the show wants to say hello. We got Carly.
Ooh. Say it again.
A little delayed action there. Yes, sir. You tell them. Come check us out every time we come onto these podcasts. You're going to get a lot of good information.
Good boy.
All right. Well, we got a good one for you guys today. We have the poop bag girl herself, Jennifer. We're really excited to have her on. We have a little pet shop and we weren't sure what we were going to be ordering here. And all of a sudden somebody came in the door and they're like, "Do you guys got poop bags?" And we're like, "We don't." So we started doing our thing and we found the best poop bags that we could find. So we have Jennifer with Greenline Pet Supplies today. And Jennifer, what were you doing before we got on the call here? Were you packing up orders or were you taking the dogs for a walk?
Oh my gosh, I had to run out and get coffee real quick because it's the end of my day. No, actually, this afternoon I picked up more banner bags. They're my little poop bag holders that are made out of Upcycle Festival banners. And so I have, last week I punched out about 300 of them, which are all sold. I mean, like they can't make those things fast enough. But I picked those up from my sewing room. I clean and cut them, and then I have a sewing room sew them. And then they return them to me, but I need to turn them inside out. So I spent the afternoon binge watching Netflix and turning bags inside out. It's a labor. Those are very labor intensive products. Like I probably don't even think about how much time it takes for me to make just one. I have no idea. But yeah, they're pretty cool. All the banners. I make the rounds, every month and pick up banners all over the city. I work with the Chicago, a lot of Chicago park districts and Chamber of Commerce. And amazingly, all these banners would have gone into a landfill. And so I save them from the trash. I have literally gone to an event company and dumpster dived. They'll throw all of it in a dumpster and then I'll dumpster dive. I'll be like inside the dumpster throwing everything out that I want to take with me and then throwing them in my car. So it's definitely life of a entrepreneur type of thing.
That's definitely dedication right there.
Real
Yeah.
recycling.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean,
Real
that's
recycling.
the definition of sustainability, and it's which is really a big reason why we found you because I mean, this is it's a big deal, guys. If you have pets or especially dogs and you're taking them out all the time, it's an extreme amount of dookie that is out there every single day that is being just thrown into landfills. And that's why you started doing what you do, right?
Sort of. I mean, we sort of fell into it. I've had dogs for years, and I was a single woman, single girl with two dogs and a cat, and I met my husband, and his father was an electrical engineer. And I've been, had my dogs for years, and I'm like, you know what? These poop bag holders on the market are really crummy. They don't, they're not stylish. They're really ugly. They always fall apart. And so he actually engineered a utility, and we designed our first poop bag holder, which was called the Loop. We called it the Loop for Poop. Um, and it's so well engineered, you cannot, it's almost impossible to break it. So like I've been in stores and thrown it across the room and they're like, "Oh my God." And it seriously will not break. You really have to like drive over it with a car. Um, but we needed bags for it. And so I went down this rabbit hole of looking for bags and, you can go on Alibaba and, order up a bag with your logo on it, no problem. But what I realized is that I was actually at the time as a consumer using a compostable poop bag, and I really liked those, and I thought those were like the right way to go. Um, this was back in 2011, 12. And what I realized is that they actually don't break down once you throw them away.
Yep.
Hmm.
And, compostable is a great option. It's great for food waste. But when it comes to dog waste, those bags, any compostable plastic has to be processed in a commercial composting facility because they have to have sustained high heat and aeration and watered for a consistent number of days before they even start to break down. And so it's funny that you're like, yeah, I know that. Because back
Yeah,
then in 2012, Yeah, well, back in 2012, I mean, even in Chicago, we don't compost yet here. So um, I went down this rabbit hole and was like, okay, there's got to be something. And there was this gentleman in Australia on a LinkedIn, the power of social media, LinkedIn biodegradable plastics group that said, hey, there's technology out there. You just need to find it. Nobody's using it. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. And so he said, there's a couple labs in the United States that test biodegradable products. Find the lab and ask them what products, what ingredients they would recommend using. And so I did. We've been working with the same lab since 2012. He introduced me to another startup. They started same year, and they are an additive company, and we've just added their additive to our plastic since then. So I mean, we're 14 years in, and we've tested it. We've done 2 rounds of testing. The first round was an accelerated test, and then during COVID, we're like, okay, look, we're gonna try to do the long organic test in the lab, and he sustained it for almost 4 years. So we determined it takes up to 48 months for it to fully biodegrade. So I mean, we
I
took
mean,
the thing very seriously, and ironically, the bad thing about it is we can't actually put it on our package. So, like, if you've ever
Really?
noticed, because of legislation,
yeah, the
whatever,
old
you know,
red.
but we're like, we spent a lot of money just to authenticate and you know, we feel good about what we're selling. Most people would be like, "Well, I'm not gonna go through that and spend all that time and money if I can't put it on my carton." But for us, it's like, no, we just wanna walk the talk and know exactly what we're putting out into the world, because we can't feel good about something if we don't know it really fully works.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that's what we've been doing for the last 14 years, but it's been a long road. Seems like it went kind of fast. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well,
Fast and slow all at the same time.
I think that you're walking, a rare path that is like with alignment because when you truly do run a company with the right intentions, like you're doing, that really goes a long way. And that's why time goes by so fast because you're just enjoying yourself and doing the right thing. And here you are, you said you started in your apartment, right?
Yeah, I mean, we actually we had some really, with starting a business, we had a lot of life lessons. We'd been kind of tinkering around with our dispenser for a couple years, and then I lost my job. This was kind of during the recession back in like 2011. We were kind of coming out of it, but I lost my job, and we're like, okay, it's make it or break it time. One of us needs to, if we do this, we need to do this full time. And obviously, I was like, without a job. So we spent about a year in development, and then we launched in the end of 2012, um, end of 2013. We did a lot of markets and festivals in the city. In the course of all this time, we've downsized 3 times. We sold everything we owned. Like we definitely walked that entrepreneurial small business path, but we've come
Mhm.
out on the other
Amazing.
end with stronger values. I mean, that was the one thing that sometimes people go into business for the wrong reasons. And, we thought it was just going to be cool, right? But then what we realized is we were really good consumers back in the day. And we realized we can live with less. And what does less mean? Less means a lot of freedom. And so, yeah, so I mean, it's been that journey, but also we are better people after, coming in the end. And we're still learning, right? I mean, there's no perfection when it comes to, how we live, how we, feed our dogs, what we give them, how we, treat other people, all those things. There's no such thing as perfection, but we at least strive for, to do something better.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really cool. I wanted to back up a little bit because we were talking a little bit about like the additive that you put in the bags and how it breaks down and like I'm backing it up because this is such an important thing that like I learned a lot when we started carrying your bags because I just thought a poop bag's a poop bag. I think most people do. Just as dog food is dog food, as people think. Um, and I found out very different because, a lot of these poop bags, like most of them are not compostable in the way that you would want them to be, which is what your product does, because they I think the word is anaerobic or something like that. Is I know.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
no. So,
Can you tell me?
I
Can you
mean,
tell the people out there what that means?
okay, so I mean, it's actually in layman's terms is super simple. So, um, in a landfill, it when your trash goes in and the dump truck dumps the trash, they compact it and it gets covered. And so all day long they're covering. So within, hours, those bags are covered. And so what it is just a dark, dry environment. So it's an anaerobic without oxygen environment. And so old technology back in the day, there used to be well, there still are oxo-degradable bags, grocery bags, all sorts of shopping bags. Those require sunlight and oxygen. So with a poop bag, the life of a poop bag, it gets buried. Same with our garbage bags. They all get buried. So when you don't have that exposure, you don't have those exposure to elements, that old technology doesn't break down. It was actually originally developed in the 70s to combat littering. So it makes sense, right? They're
Yeah.
left out in the sun, those bags that are flying around and fragmenting. Uh, and so the additive, the way it works is once it comes in contact in a microbial, bacteria-rich environment, which a landfill has tons of bacteria, it basically allows the pores of the plastic to open and the bacteria in. Otherwise, regular plastic is impervious. You can't, it repels. So you it just takes about, we've tested, it takes up to 48 months for the bacteria to completely digest it and it returns to the earth. So it turns into natural matter. So it's not like a microplastic, it's not little fragments, they've completely digested it.
Yep.
One of
That's
my customers said it creates methane gas, anything that a bacteria digest. I had a customer say, "Oh, they poop it out or they fart it out." I'm like, "Well, yeah, kind of." Like it's a big circle.
I love it.
Talk.
I know. I was gonna start off with a huge pun at the beginning of this because I mean, like, this is gonna be a pungent conversation. Something like it never gets old. I read this a while back that like the first forms of like jokes, you know what I mean? Like for human beings when we were first starting to become sophisticated, were poop jokes. We're like, so it's like it's the oldest form of humor. It's just like it never gets old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of puns when it comes to stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I was thinking that at the next trade show, I should have a microphone and ask everybody to give me a definition of poop or what do you call poop? Because a lot of different things would come out, like
Yeah.
caca or, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
but
It's
yeah,
just
I could see that.
it's just a funny thing because like the humans and what I don't know, we just like we make all these funny stories out of poop and then like even with like our pets' health, us crazy pet parents we're always talking about our pets' poop, right? Oh,
Well, and
it's
you
not.
guys haven't seen me at the trade show. I have a T-shirt that says "I know my," and it has a big poop on the bottom. So you can
I love that.
yeah. So you can determine what that poop means, but literally, right? I mean, and that's
Yeah.
the funny thing. It's like I have a passion for poop and plastic. I can talk about trash all day long, and then I also have a passion for nutrition and all the things that my dogs have contact with. So it eventually we would like to develop things that touch all things that my dogs touch, sleep on, eat, ingest, potentially could, lick or whatever.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I love that. I mean, they all kind of collide anyways,
Yeah, it's a full
I mean,
circle.
everything is a full circle. If you think about the entire universe and the whole world is a holistic thing, it's all connected. But um I really love this because people don't know that there's like it's like millions of pounds of dog shit every day
Yeah.
just in America that's getting into landfills and not being biodegraded. As a matter of fact, I love this because my wife here, amazing brain. We go for hikes and she's always talking about the poop bags on the side of because people pick up their
Drives
poop
me nuts.
and then they leave it on the side of the trail. They don't like bring it with them. And she's always like, well, that's just great. And it pisses her off. And she's like,
I'm
they're
like,
just
you're
like
preserving.
that's what she says. She says you're
Right.
preserving the shit because the actuality is that if the dog poops there and you're not gonna like take the bag with you, you should just leave the shit because it's just going to break down, biologically. But with your bags, they actually break down in the landfill, and I just love it because
Oh, yeah, and, like, some of these people will throw them, just off the trail enough so even if someone came out to clean, you'll see this little plastic little whatevers in the bushes, and it really sucks, and it's just like, I don't know if those are if they're your bags per se, they're not the same color, so I don't think so, but I'm like, but it's just like, it really grinds my gears.
yeah,
No, I know everybody has, the poop complaints. That one, I mean, the first time I was in Portland, I realized it's like I'm the trash police. The first time I was in Portland, I'm like, they really are short on trash cans, and so
Mhm,
public trash cans, and so I saw
oh yeah,
several that were picked up and thrown next to, like, storefronts, and I'm like,
mhm.
those poor store owners have to look at that when they come in the morning and do a whole pickup situation. But no, I mean that's the other question that we've been asked. Does it have to be thrown in the trash? It basically any place where there's bacteria. So in the event mine were to get tossed to the side, pretty much any natural environment, there's plenty of microbes and bacteria to eat it up. But yeah,
that
it
Yeah.
that's
probably
amazing.
would happen even faster just because it's exposed.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that makes sense. The oxidation and all that stuff is going to help. I
Yeah.
mean, just break it down.
Yeah.
48 months. The fact that you guys spent the money to do the testing and to do the third
Mhm.
party, all that stuff is like, I mean, that just is a testament to your integrity
Yeah.
because, like you said, you can't, in America, we have so many rules and regulations that you can't just put the truth on your box, but you can put other things. Either way, I just want to honestly thank you for doing that because if you think about it, you've been doing this since 2012, you don't have the entire market, but you've gotten a lot of people to start doing this, even if they did it by accident, if they just bought them. And I think that that makes a huge impact on your imprint on the world. So I think that's awesome.
One of these days I need to calculate how many bags we've actually sold. Because I mean, when you think back, it's like, okay, so basically anything before 2022 is gone. I mean, it just makes you you know, feel better, knowing
That's
that
cool to think about,
That's
to
yeah.
huge.
think that it's like I mean, back in the day, like, I don't know, 3 years in, my biggest customer is in the Pacific Northwest, and I did calculate because I wanted to tell them, like, what an impact they made. But at the time, I think I had sold them 3 tons worth of poop bags, and I told
Wow.
them, to think that they saved that many, and at this point, they're gone. So, I mean, it's just nice to be able to know that, we did make a difference, even if it was a small imprint, because I would say we don't advertise, a lot of it's word of mouth. I mean, you guys found us organically because we have distribution in your area, um, but it's totally word of mouth, and, there's only one of me, and I do all the packing and the shipping and sales and marketing, and my husband has a full-time job doing something else, but he does support me on the graphic design end and the tech end, but, um, really it's just me, out there telling people, my poop bag story and hoping that it takes, hoping that it sticks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you really do it all yourself still. I mean, you were just talking about how you were making banner bags by hand all day long, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's
The C
incredible.
the
Like,
It's true
CEO,
dedication,
it's like
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's like you do what you have to do. I mean, those things are so popular. They're the flash that I've always told, the other people that, are out there representing our company when we're running around to stores. I'm like, you talk about the serious stuff first, and then you pull out the flash at the end, and then people get super excited. It's like,
yeah,
but you don't show them the flash until you talk about the serious stuff first.
Yeah.
there you
But
go.
yeah, that's the flash. But yeah, somebody asked me if I would continue selling those, or if I would ever sell them into big box. And I'm like, for one, we primarily only work with independents like you. I mean, we're family owned. We want to support family owned independents. Somebody recently emailed us and asked us why we weren't on Amazon. And I have a really good reason for that because I've been spending, 14 years supporting my independence. I'm just not going to do that. Again, it's, you know, could I make more money there? Is that the reason why I went into business? I mean, we want to support ourselves and our family of dogs, but that was kind of against every form of, that was against our values.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We get that.
We do. Yeah. I mean,
And
it's just,
we use it. We use Amazon,
oh yeah,
first,
well, you have
but
to. You're kind of forced to.
I'll literally try to, like, ban myself. I'm like, "No, we're not doing it. I'm not gonna order anything for at least a week or 2." Or, I'll try to, like, go as long as possible, but there'll be something.
Yeah.
Like,
you
hmm.
can't get everything in the stores. That's
Mm-mm.
why, we have e-commerce for this because we're not everywhere. We're not in stores. We haven't hit every state, but we have e-commerce, but we actually charge more for the products, typically, and we charge shipping. You have to hit a threshold, so we
Mhm.
in a way we kind of try to make it hard. I mean, we really try to push people. We try to keep our store locators really up to date so people can look to see if you have an independent store in your area. And sometimes because I do all the fulfillment, if I get an order from somebody in an area where I know I have a store, I'll actually email them and say, your order is coming, it's shipping, but you might want to check out this store that's down the street from you.
Yeah.
And they were
That's
probably like,
cool.
"What's that all about?"
That's teamwork right
No,
there.
that is, I mean, I
That's
love
really
that because,
cool.
you're paying it forward. And
Mhm.
that's a beautiful thing in this world where there's not so much of that these days.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's such a delight to talk to you because it's almost like looking in a mirror so many ways. I mean, just our journey, not, we started about 5 years ago. So we've been at this for a little while, but so many of the things that you talk about are what we've been through, just starting it with just us. We still do everything today, that all the daily stuff, and the lessons and the values that you have to be certain on those before you really start on this journey. And we when we first started our business, the first thing we did was write down our values.
Mhm.
And our first value, we did like an acronym because it was easier to remember that way. And the first of the letters was just the letter B. And my name is Bobby, and her name is Eden. And so like that is the first value, is just us. Nothing ever comes between that. So uh, I just love hearing your story as well, as it sounds a lot like ours,
Yeah.
grassroots.
Yeah.
I love that you did the acronym of B. I mean, it's that there's a lot of things that could come out of that. Be
Yeah.
Mhm.
authentic, be yourself, it just there are definitely times when it comes to my husband and I keep trying to get him. We have a dog that I mean, you're on the journey together. Todd doesn't see my day to day all the time. In fact, he probably doesn't. He probably maybe comes to the office maybe every other month if he has to. And it's normally because I'm traveling and we got an e-commerce order and those people just can't wait. So they're
Right.
used to quick shipping. So he'll come to the office. But I've been trying to, we have a dog that is fear aggressive, or I guess just fearful of people. And so since we've had her 8 years, we haven't been able to travel together. So Todd hasn't seen all the places and all the stores, and he hasn't gone to any of the trade shows. We stopped doing trade shows in the middle, but we started doing trade shows again 2 years ago. And I told him we were designing some new packaging. And I said, I just really hope that we can try to get you to the next trade show because you will see the impact that your packaging and the impact that we're having as a business on other people,
Mhm.
because it makes it all worth it. I always tell people, when I'm feeling down or feeling lonely, I just go out and I visit stores because that's where I get my energy. I get my energy from people saying, "Hey, I, love your product. You're doing a good job." Like, 'cause, that
Yeah.
even just having the two of you, you don't have a squad behind you cheering you on.
Mhm.
No, just our pets.
Yeah.
I
Which
know. Hey, they
y
do a pretty good job.
they are pretty good cheerleaders. They're amazing. They're the reason we started doing this anyways. They somehow were able to communicate it to us.
Quality control.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
do have a few rules.
You know, you are doing a really amazing job, truly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just coming from my heart because you're doing cool things for the planet and for dogs and for people. And the product itself is legit. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I've used a lot of poop bags in my day, and I really don't like poop bags because most of them I have a hard time opening, like a grocery store fruit, like the produce bags. I can't
Produce bag.
open them. I have to like lick my fingers. Your bags open really easily. They're also a generous size, so that's really important too for people who have bigger dogs. It's even like I know you have different sizes too, right?
An XL, I
You have
think.
like the
We
XL
have an X.
ones. Yeah, so we
Mhm.
just have the regular size ones, and they're decent size. They're really also they're durable, so like they're not gonna like just rip
Yeah,
and break and stuff. So
nice and thick.
yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, and those are just a few of the things that I like. I like the color of them; they stand out a little bit, so that you don't miss it. Yeah, I mean, those are just little things that go a long way. So
Mhm.
Well, I mean, going back to the very beginning, I mean, when you talk about the quality control and all the little details, our first shipment, um, our stickers were too sticky. And we're like, we can't send these out into the world. And
you're
so
ripping
we
that,
used,
yeah,
yeah, and so we ripped them open with those gift wrap cutters, those little plastic cutters. We ripped every single roll open and replaced it with a new sticker.
Oh,
Because I
yeah,
mean, that would be the kiss of death, right? If you send it out
mhm,
into the world and somebody's like, the sticker ripped the first bag.
yeah,
They will
mhm.
never
yeah,
buy your product again. So, I mean, those are just little, hiccups along the way. And I took a picture of it because I thought nobody is going to believe that we did this.
That's
And
like
father,
asking a sticker company to be completely opposite, like, "I need one of your stickers to not really stick very strongly, but work. It'll work." Like,
I know. I mean,
it's like, "How
well,
can you
we went the
minimize
other
the
way too.
adhesive?"
Well, we went the other way too, where we asked the sticker supplier to, removable adhesive. Well, by the time they got here, all the stickers were coming off of the rolls. And we were like, okay, so they'll as long as you press them back down and you stick them in the box real quick, they'll be fine. But
Like,
the two, because they come over in bulk, so we do it the hard way. They come over in bulk from overseas, and then we have all our cartons made in Ohio, so they're made here in the Midwest. That's the hard way, and it's probably the more expensive way. But again, it's the right way in our mind because we really want to support as much U.S. manufacturing as we can. And I've tried so hard to have those little rolls made here, but it just didn't work out. We tried several times. But that's how we do it. So once, because they're in bulk, they're not compact enough to stay together. So we're like, if you stick the sticker back on and then you put it in the box, it's fine. But yeah, most people would rather have it not sticky enough than too sticky. So
right.
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we took a picture and at night, we would sit at the dining room table and just rip stickers all night
Yeah.
long.
Jeez.
We're really into
That's
manual
awesome.
labor at Greenline Pet Supply.
Hey, hey, all by yourself too.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
machinery.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're tuning into this episode for poop bags, you might get a little bit of business 101 because I mean,
Mm.
that like right there is like if you're going to start a business, that's and attention to detail, minuscule, if I can say the word, the minute minuscule details are where all the bread is. It's not like, and I don't mean like all of a sudden you're going to pay attention to one small detail and then all of a sudden you're going to make a lot of money. It just means that like that is where success is made. And I just
Mhm.
think that that's incredible because it's rare to be honest. We've met a lot of people in business and we
Yeah.
don't meet very many people like you. So kudos. I mean,
Yeah, to you and
truly,
your husband. I know he's kinda in the back, scenery, but I mean,
yeah.
like you said, the marketing's huge and the packaging, you guys have really are a good team.
yeah. We've been working diligently over the whole last week getting our new packaging for our new product line together. We just submitted it
Yes.
yesterday to the packaging company. So, and it's just one of those things where the name of the product came about at 4 a.m. in the morning during our pilot. And then we also have a tagline for the new product that we came up at 6 in the morning. Like it's when you're exhausted and you're
Yeah.
delirious that
Exactly.
you come up with the
Like,
best
"Okay,
idea.
yeah."
I told was that Sean Cahill from Tavati? He was on our podcast, and I think that we were talking about it, or was it? I can't remember. Either way, I tell the story not very often because it's kind of whatever. I came up with the business name at the urinal at Costco. Costco.
Costco.
It's,
Costco.
you know
While I was
what? When you're not bombarded with too much noise, it's your quiet
Yeah.
moments
Yep.
is when things will come to you in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you kind of let the cat out of the bag there a little bit. So you want to tell everybody about your new product at all?
Yeah, it's super cool because, like I said, I have a passion for poop bags, plastic, and trash. But then on the other hand, I have a passion for nutrition and the welfare of my dogs and what I feed them and how I care for them. And so we're about to launch next month. Actually, this month in Arizona, you guys will be the very first. It'll be the unveiling. We're launching, yeah, seriously, like my pilot is next week. We're making the product and then it
Like
will be
2
here the night
weeks.
before
Yeah.
I leave for Arizona. So,
Awesome.
yeah, it's called Wiggle Whip and it's
Wiggle
freeze
Whip.
dry. Wiggle Whip. We've came up with that at 4 a.m. And it's freeze dried dog ice cream. So it's
Mm,
ready to treat right out of the bag. It's like astronaut ice cream for dogs.
mm.
Um, it's got a whole goat milk base. So, I give my dogs goat milk every day, but it's not exactly the most portable thing. Um, but it's got all clean ingredients. It's got organic fruit purees. Our secret ingredient is our star ingredient is upcycled cranberry seed powder, which is really great for fiber and digestion. But it's basically the seeds left over from juicing cranberries, and then they express the oils for the cosmetic and beverage industry, and what's left is the fiber. And so we're utilizing that in the ingredient panel. And we'll be launching strawberry banana shake, bark and blueberry, and wagon apple. And the tagline that we came up with at 6 in the morning the other day was it's wiggle worthy. And
Ooh, I
Oh,
like it.
so, which we realized like that could relate to a lot of things. I mean, it's we kind of decided it was going to be sort of a stamp of approval for everything, and that would relate to everything that we do has to have a sustainable component. Everything we do has to be vetted and clean, like just across the board. It's got to be wiggle worthy. So,
I love it.
yeah. So you'll see it in 2 weeks. I mean, it's crunch time for us right now. Here,
that's
I'll
Yeah.
show you.
awesome.
So this is what an entrepreneur does when you don't have like a team and you're trying to figure out the graphics, and making sure that everything's right. So you use your printer
Ooh.
with an X-Acto knife and you stick it on your bag.
Oh.
And so that's what yeah, so we printed this. I lugged my printer home because our printer at home was not working. So I lugged my printer home so we could, print it out and make sure everything looked right. But yeah, so that's what it's gonna look like. So
That's
Awesome.
I love it.
they're tiny little chips. So they're
Yeah.
That's
about
really
the size of
cute.
a dime. So your chihuahua's perfect size for your chihuahuas.
Awesome.
That's great.
Very cool.
You need to like talk to little John and be like, get like, what was it? Stop. Wiggle,
Wiggle it. Oh, stop. Dogs like shaking their butts.
You know what? We can probably get that to work on AI. My husband, he's
There
been
you go.
toying around
There,
with
yeah.
AI, and it is scary what you can do with
Yeah.
that. So,
Right.
It
with
is.
video and stuff.
It's scary for especially for people who don't have an eye for it. Like I worry about like the older generation who didn't like grow up with computers and like easy to take advantage of. And
Really good. Yeah.
that's for another episode. But
I know. We're talking all about happy things like wiggly.
yes, exactly.
It's funny because we have 3 Australian shepherds, so obviously our world is full of wiggle butts. I think it relates to all dogs. I have a friend that has a Frenchie, and she's like, "Wiggles, wiggle. That doesn't resonate with me." And I'm like, "You're not my customer."
I can attest to the fact that I have definitely seen Frenchies wiggle.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. They may not have much of a tail, but yes, they do.
Yeah.
Their whole
They do.
body
The
wiggles.
whole thing wiggle. Yeah, they're wiggling all over.
Yeah.
All over it.
Yeah, we all wiggle.
That's awesome. That's super cute.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
So
did you want to share just if anybody is out there looking for where to find any Greenline Pet Supply poop bags, they are incredible. They are biodegradable, truly biodegradable in landfills. So if you could tell people where to find those, and
You know,
then
and I guess you have a store locator on your website since
yeah,
you're saying you'd rather go that route.
yeah, or where to find you if you're
Yeah.
going to be out and about or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Pure Positivity carries our bags. They've got a big old basket there. Um, but we do have, you can go to our website. It's greenlinepetsupply.com. We do have a tab there for store locator, so we're in about 500 stores across the country. So there's pockets that are heavily saturated. So the Pacific Northwest is heavy. Arizona, we're getting there. Um, there's several in Manhattan. But you'll see lots of pockets. But if they're not available locally, you can buy them on our website. We do definitely sign up for our newsletter because we'll be heavily doing some promotions for Earth Month. Earth Month is coming up in April. I don't know when this will air, but Earth Month we'll be doing some special things. And just realized we're ordering little sample packs, so all our orders moving forward will be once we launch the Wiggle Whip come with a sample, a surprise sample.
Ooh, that's
Ooh,
cool. That's
cool.
smart. Yeah,
All
that's a really
right.
good idea.
Yeah, well, part of it is just what we realized is we have customers that have been shopping with us for like from the very beginning. I interviewed on the phone an e-commerce customer that had been his first order was in 2013, and he's ordered since all those years. I mean, he's like up to
Oh,
like 20 orders or something. And so it's just interesting, those are the customers that follow us and support us. They really do. What came out of it was a lot of them asked for garbage bags. I'm like, I'm not in the garbage bag business, but I'll work
right.
on it. I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
no, good answers. It's just I think everybody's seeing that problem, of Earth right now. And so it's,
yeah,
magnified when it comes to our trash, then I'm sure.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
well, and the thing about it is we're not asking. I mean, that's the one thing that I was telling somebody because they were part of an anti-plastic bag group. And she asked me what the utopia of picking up poop would be, and I'm like, oh gosh, I never really thought about that. I guess we would all be walking around with pooper scoopers, and there'd be a trash can on every corner. But that's not realistic, right? Even if that was the case. And I'm not asking people to change their habits. I'm just asking them to change their bag.
yeah,
It's not a big
mm-hmm,
deal.
yeah.
And like you said, you might end up with a better bag. I'm
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
and
pretty
I mean,
spiritual
baby
about it.
steps lead to small hinges swing big doors. So,
mm-hmm,
asking everybody to change overnight probably not going to happen. But small steps in the right direction are where big things are started. So
mm-hmm.
that's huge. And I mean, even like with like ordering these, like you can get these when you guys order bulk. If you're a company out there and you need poop bags, you order bulk from Greenline. You can get packageless bulk orders. I think that even just stuff like that is huge. So you're
Mm-hmm.
doing everything the
That
right way.
I have to tell you a quick story about that. So that came out of necessity. We ran out of packaging. And so
Oh,
we had this little lull of not having cartons. And so our e-commerce customers, they were still wanting to order. And so we're like, well, do you need the carton? And they said no. And I said, well, we'll sell it to you in bulk package free. And what came out of that? It is our most popular item.
There you go.
And
awesome.
they don't need the carton.
I
And
love
so
it.
yeah. And so that came out of necessity. And what we realize is people prefer it.
Well, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that and just being open minded to letting things kind of form in place for you. You don't need
Yeah.
to like control everything. But
Well,
it's
what
just
might
like,
look like a problem at the time, she's like, "Oh my god, I'm out of boxes. This is awful." You have all these companies to like fulfill. Oh, well, you don't even need it. Oh, and then and that ends up being your best seller. I mean, that's a good problem, and you turned it in. What do you say when you see the silver lining in things?
you took lemons and made lemonade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the thing is I gave them a $2 discount for doing it because they saved a
Oh,
box. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
That's,
so it's
yeah.
an incentive, really. I've even had people buy two 24 packs because they come in packs of 48, and I've had people buy two 24 packs, and I'll message them because I feel bad that they're paying for this carton, and they
Oh.
mm,
said, "No, no, no, I like the carton." So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Oh,
Sure. Yeah, you got the options.
Yeah.
That's
You
nice.
have the
Well,
option.
I feel like we could, if we keep talking and just keep going, we will find out all these little tiny secrets that add up to why Greenline Pet Supply is leading the way for poop bags. I mean, all these little things that you're doing that people don't notice. You're not asking for applause. You're not asking for attention. Those are that's where it's all made. So,
Mhm.
like seriously, you're doing an amazing job. And the product is great. We use this is the only poop bags that we use now, guys. So,
Mhm.
um, if you have anything that you have any questions about, you can find any of her information on greenlinepetsupply.com. But we've just had a blast talking with you today, Jennifer, and we'll have you back on again in the future if you'd love to come on. So
Yeah, maybe you can visit the shop when you're in Arizona. If you have
yeah,
some time.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna
yeah,
try. It's a short trip, but definitely.
No
yeah.
pressure.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
But we're excited that that there's companies out there like you representing the pet industry. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you for being on today. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Mhm.
Thanks, you too. Thanks for your
Bye.
support.
Pick it up, break it down. Greenline poop bags save the ground.